My mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. Help us all to hear your good news message this beautiful last Sunday of 2018. Amen. I don't know, for some folks, it was a very difficult year, very tough year. And we lost a lot of really, really good people. Some other folks, maybe not so difficult. For some other folks, they didn't care. But as we approach the new year, 2019, we have to get refocused. We have another chance, don't we, to do it right this time, to do it better this time. You know, back when I was in sales, I used to tell the clients before I left, after asking for the order, of course, I said, Fred, make it a good day today. Make it a good week, Fred. I didn't say have a good day. It doesn't fall on you. You know, there's certain things in our life we can control. There's certain things we can't control. I get it. But I can control my outlook. And I know I may have said to you before, when I get out of bed in the morning, what's the first thing I say when the one foot hits the floor? This is the day the Lord has made. I'm going to rejoice and be glad in this day. Because I got a chance, another chance. He's given it to me to maybe present a better sermon. Maybe hug somebody or shake somebody's hand that needs it. It's not easy, is it? No, it isn't. I'll answer for all of you. It's tough out there. It's called realities. Daily realities. And they wear us down. That's why I read that passage about being overloaded. All of us have those days where I can't take another thing bad happening in my life. Not one more thing. Well, I still do resolutions, kind of. Anybody here still do resolutions? I mean, what a joke, Donnie. Come on, it's 5 to midnight. You're with your friends and family and you're getting ready to toast the new year. And they say, what's your resolutions? Mine are pretty much the same as they've been the last few years. I'm going to quit smoking. No, I've already done that decades ago. I'm going to stop swearing. I don't swear much now. I don't want that out there. You're not taping this, are you? But occasionally, once in a while, you know, bad things happen. You drop the hammer on your toe. You might just... Anybody here have a swearing problem? Good. I see some hands. You know, it's funny how short arms get. I have a swearing problem. Folks, a lot of us fall short of the glory of God. So, we're going to work on that. The other thing is, I'm going to lose weight. Every year I say the same thing, I'm going to lose weight. Anybody here going to lose weight in 2019? Thank you. I'm going to do less sinning in 2019. Not that I did a whole lot of sinning, but I'm going to do less because it's just the way I'm built. Anyway, I'm going to get an attitude adjustment also for 2019. Not that I need major surgery, but all of us could occasionally use an attitude adjustment, right? Our outlook, our appreciation of life, of opportunity. And lastly, I'm going to proclaim His good news just like I was allowed to do in 2018. It's such a thrill to have two churches and be allowed to proclaim His good news. Now, I know some of you are keeping track because you tell me during the week. The way I remember is I use letters. So, stop swearing, S. Okay? Lose weight, L. attitude adjustment, A, and I'm going to proclaim the good news. I'm slapping myself. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with you, Dick? You know what New Year's is for me? It's a wake-up call. Slap yourself. Change. Fix it. Make it better. That's why I spelled slap. We have a chance in a couple of days, around midnight, to change things. I know that's not very scriptural, but with the help of God, nothing is impossible. It's on my door. Nothing is impossible. No matter how hard-headed, no matter how many diets you've been on, don't be stubborn. Let God be God. Be still, it says, Sarah. She gave me a big plaque. I don't know whether it was personal or not. It says, Psalm 46:10, be still, Pastor Dick, and know that I am God. I had trouble with the first part more than the second part. I know He's God. I can't be still. I get upset. Do you ever get upset? Don't answer. What does Scripture say to us? You know, when I was in the business world, they'd ask for a quarterly report. And then they'd ask for a 2-year report, and goals and quotas and all that stuff. And then a 5-year report. Where are we going to be in 5 years, Dick, with our sales team? So, like many of you, I get calendars like crazy throughout the year, you know. I give to various organizations. This one comes from the national parks. I think this is Yosemite. I break my new year into 4 quarters. Maybe it's because I coached and played, you know. First and second quarter, then halftime, you get a pep talk, third quarter. I think it's safe to say that the majority of people sitting here this morning, majority, I say this with all love, you're in your 4th quarter, guys. Yeah? Aren't we? Is that okay, Gabby? That's low, isn't it? Between Gabby and my dear wife, I have to preach over here. Just to stay alive. Folks, yes, we've seen a little bit of life, and I know it doesn't apply to everybody. We don't know whether it's the 4th quarter, do we? Who wrote Proverbs? Solomon. Solomon says, here's what you need to do, Bumsy, in the 1st quarter of 2019. Isn't that a beautiful picture? Here's what Proverbs said to us this morning. In January, focus in on teaching. We are teaching each other and learning how to improve this relationship and every other relationship in our lives. That's what all this is about. It's worship and giving Him thanks and glory. But in January, folks, it's back to school. We're going to be teaching in here. February is all about love. That's what Proverbs says. So, and that's Valentine's Day too. Donnie loves Kristen more in February than January. Is that what you told me, Donnie? No? All the time? Boy, I am really trying to help him this morning, aren't I? Great answer. Yes! Because God's love for you never changes. He loves you when you're having a bad day, great day, horrible day, so-so day. Whether you're swearing, not swearing. He's not thrilled with the swearing, but He never forsakes you. He continues to love you. So that's my February, see? See, honey? I got a calendar for you at home. What are we supposed to do in March? What are we supposed to do? What does Proverbs say? Serve. You got to put that love and that understanding in this relationship. You got to go tell somebody. You got to serve. He came to serve us. We, as His disciples, have to serve. Well, that takes care of the 1st quarter. We're going to teach, we're going to love, and we're going to serve. Here, Lauren, good luck. You're welcome. Do we need a calendar to tell us what to do as God's children? Maybe it'll help you. I don't know, the psalm is a prayer from David. And he gives us the instructions for the second quarter. And I'm not a member, but, well, maybe I was. I don't know. The Audubon Society sent me this. What is this? You know what this is?
A puffin.
A what?
Puffin.
Puffin, thank you. Puffin, seen them all. Boy, I wouldn't have known that. Thank you. You know, the puffin is telling us what to do in the second quarter of the year, 2019. April, May, and June. That's easy, isn't it, for all of us? What happens in April? Easter. We find the basket, we have a resurrected Savior, everybody's here, the church is packed, we're singing, we're eating chocolate. Life is good. What does David say we should pray for? You know, I love this passage because it says, some of us will make it to 70. How many of you are 70? Then he says, some of us will make it to 80, but only if we're really, really strong. How many 80-year-olds do we have? Ooh, look at them. Look at the 80-year-old. They're really strong people. Was he talking about strong, muscle strong? He was talking about faith strong in the heart, among other things. You know what I pray for in April? Strength. You know what I pray for in May? Forgiveness. Because of what I did in April. We never need to stop praying, and that's what David found out. A psalm is either a song or a prayer. It's a prayer, folks. You know, June, I love June. The month of June in Ohio is probably the best. What do we do in June? We graduate. We have graduation parties. We got weddings. We're on Lake Erie fishing. The boats, the swimsuits. Everybody's happy in June, aren't you? If you had to pick a favorite month of the year in Ohio, how many of you would pick June? Oh my. Take that off the sermon. How many? Well, we'll get to your month. You know what I do in others? What I do in June? In my prayers, I pray for others. I emphasize others. You should always pray for others. But in June, because as I told somebody this morning, maybe, somebody always has it better than you do. And somebody always has it worse. So don't say, woe is me, oh boy, the world hates me, and I got a cruddy life. And look at Hazel over there, everything's roses for Hazel. Guess what? Maybe it's rosy for Hazel's, but I can show you a whole bunch of people not so rosy. Here, Cameron. Don't get ahead of yourself. Might as well take the whole thing. The puff bird. What's your teacher's name in Firelands? Puffy? We're in the third quarter. The dog days, July, August, September. How many of you have one of those 3 months as your favorite month? Now we're getting somewhere. Because it's hot. But what about allergies? You can find negativity anywhere you want in those hot days of July, August, and September. The third quarter of your spiritual life in church. Most people are out, you know, doing all the fun things and they're not in church. Well, God doesn't take that time off. Look at, I got this, sent this by the United States Marine Corps. Because I sent them a few bucks. And I love the Marines. Semper Fi. Remember when I baptized Matt? And I said, here's a former Marine. He came up here and He said, once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine. Don't ever call me former Marine, Pastor Dick. I said, okay, man. Hurt me, man. His hands are lethal weapons. What's the third quarter like in your life? July, August, September. We go back to school. Do we go back to church after taking all summer off? Do we go back to reading the Bible? Do we go back to prayer? Or do we just kind of lounge around in the summer? What did Hebrews tell us in our New Testament lesson? I think it's in here. I'm pretty sure it's in here. Yeah. The reality of your life is the reality of your life. Nobody else has that same reality. The good, the bad, and the ugly, it's your life. You have to deal with it. In July, when we take a lot of vacations, we have to deal with the realities of our life and the sacrifices that God made for all of us. We have to be reminded, of our sin, of falling short of the glory of God. So, the reality for me in July is that I'm forgiven. The reality in August is because of His sacrifice on the cross. And then in September, we always have some of our biggest Sundays in September because everybody is back. And the kids are back in school, and you know, everybody is here. There's no issues whatsoever. Worship is spectacular in September, isn't it? Just nod your heads. How is it in December? It's the same. God is here. One or two are gathered in His name, He's here. I don't know, do we have any ex-military that would love this Marine? I know we got a bunch of ex-military. Here, Joan, take this with you to Marco Island. Folks, we are so blessed. First, second, third quarter, God has been with us, with this church, with each and every individual seated in the pew. It's personal with God. Your game of life is His game. Your soul is His soul. Look at this, nature's beauty. This was another calendar I got. You know what Luke is saying here about the lost and found? How many of you have ever lost something really valuable, like your telephone? My gosh, once a day. Thank you, Gene. How many of you have lost keys and couldn't go anywhere? How many of you have lost your wallet in Lake Erie while you were fishing? It's not coming back. Even though it's the shallowest of the Great Lakes, as you know. It's still too deep to go down there to the bottom. I don't know why the fourth quarter is so hard. I know the older we get, the harder it gets to do certain things. We're not as good at stuff as we used to be. Oh, boy. November, October, November, and December. The fourth quarter of 2019. You want to look ahead? You know what the Methodist joke is. Never make long-range plans unless you want to make God smile. We work day to day, don't we? But it says you have to repent. If you don't admit your shortcomings, He can't forgive you because you don't think you've done anything wrong. So in 2019, and by the fourth quarter, and of course this goes for all year, of course, next Sunday, you're going to be up here celebrating Holy Communion. And when I read the words that Christ said to the disciples on the Last Supper, what did He say? Take and eat. Do this in remembrance of me. Remember, a reminder. Take and drink. This is my blood. Do this in remembrance of me. That's what we do in the fourth quarter. We remember what He did for us so that we can Get out of bed every morning and say, this is the day the Lord has made. I'm going to rejoice and be glad in today. Amen. Will the ushers come forward?